in the second half of our program today, we're welcoming Mary Sue Garner, who's well known about campus.
Yes.
Mary Sue and I are here to talk about stuff to do. Now, Mary Sue and I were both teachers. Mary Sue about 4 times longer than I was, but we're used to kids coming up and say, "What do I do? I'm bored." And any teacher who's been a teacher for more than probably a week and a half is going to be able to say, "Oh, I just happen to have something for you to do." So Mary Sue came up with the idea that, well, maybe we can give our residents some ideas of things that they can do while they're maybe a little bit less than challenged in their apartment for finding something to do.
They might want to find something else to do.
There you go. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
We're glad you're here.
And our focus is going to be more on the technology part.
Okay, so using your
iPhone,
PC or your iPhone
or your iPad or tablet or Android, whatever you have. How can you use these things? You know, what can you do with them? Instead of just leave them in the drawer? You know, your sons or daughters might have given you one and said, "You need this." And
that's right. Yeah. Here, Mom, it's easy. You can do it.
Yeah, and it turns out not to be. But as I thought about my list, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah, and I like
she
you,
has a list.
We had the topic, and I looked too.
Yeah, the first thing I thought was, you buy this as a telephone. So use it as a telephone. Call your friends, call your children, call your nieces, call your grandchildren. You know, make a call to somebody in Garden Ridge that you haven't seen for a while. If they're in assisted living, their phone number's in the directory. If they're in rehab, you can call the front desk at Garden Ridge and they'll give you the phone number. I did both of those yesterday.
Good.
So I've started my list of people I want to call.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and you don't have to spend hours on the phone. It's just touching base with them.
Right.
And that's really important to them. And then it's important to you too. I felt so much better after I talked to 2 people.
Of course.
And of course I can't do anything to help them, but I can talk to them.
But usually it's a case of, oh, I should call Mary Sue or Jane or whatever, right. And I just never quite get around to it. Now you don't have an excuse.
Exactly. And then also keep in touch with your neighbors.
Yes.
In your building, especially on your floor. If you know there's some people there who need some help, call them.
Right.
And then maybe you can do some things to help.
Yes.
And they don't have to be big things. You know, maybe they need, here's one, a roll of toilet paper, and
there
you have
you
extra. You know, they're not able to get out, but maybe you can take them a roll of toilet paper.
Right.
So things like that. And then to use the technology, you can do things like, if you have iPhones or iPads, you can use FaceTime.
What's FaceTime?
FaceTime is, I call you and we look at each other on the screens.
Oh,
you know,
that's scary.
The modern technology. Oh, it's wonderful. One time I called my sister and she was in bed. She stayed in bed and we talked, and I saw her hair all messed up and everything. And
actually, they have that set up now at Garden Ridge, where family members can contact Garden Ridge. They've gotten some computers, and
they can do that.
They can do that. They can contact the program people there, and they'll get it all set up so people can FaceTime their families.
Wonderful. Yeah, and if you don't have an iPhone, you have Androids and your PCs, and you can use Skype, or there are lots of other ways to do it.
Right.
You just have to do a little research and find out.
Right.
And then if you don't know how to do it, do some research and figure out how to do it. They all have books online somewhere to teach you how to do it.
And I do that all the time. How to do such and such.
And just say, how do I? This morning I said, what is Zoom? Because they were talking about using Zoom as a contact.
I don't know what Zoom is.
Zoom is used for conferencing.
Oh.
There's no reason why you can't conference with your family.
Sure.
So I didn't know exactly what it was, but I thought, let me look at it. So I said, what is Zoom? And so they gave me, does it cost anything? Well, you can get it for free for so many people for a limited time. There are a lot of things.
Good.
So, search the internet. Send emails and text messages. Text messages, if you have a son or daughter who are working, text works.
Right.
They don't want to be bothered at work by mom or dad calling. But a text message, they'll look at that and respond when they can. And emails, you can write a longer message, just like a letter. And if you don't want to do this, write a letter.
And if you use Facebook, there's a chat, a messenger function there that you can do that.
Oh, and I didn't put Facebook on my list, but go on Facebook and just go through it.
And
See
go
what
through it and
pops
see
up.
who you can find. See if you
Yeah.
can find your high school friend or
Right,
whatever. A lot
exactly.
of people have Facebook pages.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I thought, well, let's get closer to Green Spring. We have at least 2 apps on our phone, My Erickson, and I hope you have the Village Bridge, because those are 2 that are really important. Each one, they do a lot of the same things, but each one has its own differences. But if you haven't signed up for My Erickson, you can still do that. You can call Melissa in
Or
the
Nahid in the dining services
or
office.
Amber, who's in Hunter's Crossing,
Amber
or
Jordan.
there's one other person I can't remember. But they will talk you through it. Or I don't want to say call me, but people call me. You know, we
Sure.
can talk you through most of it, but you finally have to get one of those to get you signed on. And then you can go on and explore all the different things that are happening. You can get the latest memo that went in your box that you don't want to walk down to the mailbox to pick up.
Right.
But it'll be on my
It'll
my
be
Erickson.
there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're tired of having too much paper, you don't have to take the paper to your apartment.
That's right.
You can look it up on either the Village
right.
Bridge or
Right.
My Erickson.
Right. And then spend some time exploring My Erickson. A lot of people go on, they look to see how many meals they have left, and then they turn it off.
Right.
But there's other things on there.
Lots
There's
of
a lot of other
information.
things. And then if you go to the Village Bridge, there's more information. There's archives. There's history back there.
You can go back and look at the very first copy of The Villager.
Yes.
They're fascinating to read.
They are, and some things are still the same.
I know.
And some things are different.
Yes.
But it's amazing how many things are the same. And you can get the latest Villager in color.
Yes.
So you know all those pictures you see and you tell me you like, you can see them in color, and they're even better.
Many of which
So-
you took.
Many of which I took.
And if I'm not signed up for the Village Bridge, how do I do that?
Send an email to Joanne Madison.
There you
There's
go.
another email, but that will do it.
Yeah.
She'll give you the username and password, but it's very simple. Or if you pass me in the hall, ask me, I'll tell you.
And I will
you
do
will
the
do the
same.
same. There are
Yes.
lots of other people who can do that. It's not difficult.
Right.
And
you know, there's one piece that we didn't throw in. Watch Channel 1960. There's
Exactly.
programming on all day, and especially the informational programs. Like yesterday, they were doing information on the changes in dining services.
Yes.
This is your headquarters to get good information.
Right, and especially now, because that new information was on all day yesterday.
Yes.
So if you missed the first one, you got to see
And
it.
I think it's reshown today
Yeah,
also.
probably, and you'd be surprised how much good information you can get from Village in Motion. It is just every time I watch it,
I always learn something.
you know. Yeah, well, when you talk to Lisa,
Right.
Lisa, yeah,
Lily.
Lily. When we talked to Lily, she talked about herself this time, and I didn't know all those things
There you
about her.
go.
And I've known her for years, and I know she's a great therapist.
Yeah.
But explore the Village Bridge too. Just dive in and see what you can find. You need to look at plans of the floor plans of
Yeah.
the
I
buildings.
love that. That's my favorite.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
And there's also a video showing the whole campus from above.
Yes, that's fun
somebody
to look
took
at.
one of those little things.
A drone.
A drone.
Yes.
Flew around
Right.
and showed that.
That's a good
and then
one.
and then you can also.
We have 2 minutes left.
Oh,
we have to
so
talk
we're not going to
fast.
get through this whole list.
I know.
Take a free course online.
Yeah,
Go
you
to
can
YouTube.
just go in and say free college courses.
Right. Go to YouTube. You can see that on the screen now, and look at all the Village in Motions that you missed, because they're on there. If you missed one, you might see one that, oh, I missed that one. I need to go back and see it.
And
or
you can find it by typing in just GSV-TV, and it will come up.
there you go. There you go. And you can watch. I lots of times would watch the pandas at the zoo live. Last night they weren't in the camera because they didn't have anybody.
Cincinnati
with the
Zoo
camera.
is doing a lot online
Yes,
right now. They've
yes.
increased the amount of
You can
coverage.
watch owls. You can watch deer.
Yeah.
You can watch the beach. People on the beach.
So what you're saying, if I can summarize, what you're saying is there's a lot here. It's more than just playing solitaire.
Absolutely. And you can get all your games too.
There you yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You can spend time using up your battery playing solitaire.
Yeah. But we'll go back to the first half of our program today and say, get up every 15 or 20 minutes and move around. So you have a combination of keeping yourself busy and keeping yourself fit.
And my technology, I have an Apple Watch.
Oh.
And every hour, 10 minutes to the hour, it says, it's time to stand. So if I've been
What
reading,
a good idea.
10 minutes of, I stand up and walk in place for a minute, and then it says, good job.
Oh, I like
So
that idea.
It's wonderful because
That's good.
Because you were saying you talked, you could read for 4 hours and not realize
Sure.
it. Then you can't stand up.
That's right.
But this makes me.
That's a great idea.
So
if you have an
technology is
Apple
wonderful.
Watch, use it to help you.
That's
Mary
right.
Sue, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry we
Thank
didn't
you.
have more time.
Oh, we could have gone on, couldn't we?
But maybe we gave people a little nudge.
I hope so. I hope so.
Okay.